Namaste, everyone. I would like to give you meditation for fulfilling soul contracts. So, my understanding of soul contracts is that we make agreements in the higher realm before this life. And these agreements are for spiritual growth, for evolution, for creative destiny, as well as fate, right? So we have free will and we have possibilities, right? New possibilities. We have all kinds of opportunities, right? Here on planet Earth, when we jump into the physical, we have these agreements, but the way we fulfill them is it's going to be unique. So when I see soul contracts, right, it can be marriages, it can be even parents, it can be any kind of relationship. Either it's a childhood friend, either it's a business partner. You will feel it, that kind of agreement. Again, there's a creative destiny, right? There's going to be there's we can say karmic lesson, right? There's creative destiny. That's usually where you come together with your soul team, right? When you're with individuals and you're working on your dharma, that's creative destiny. And dharma is basically prosperity, abundance. That's about you becoming the best version of yourself. And those connections are usually going to be your soul team, right? When you are working on your creative destiny, right? Your soul family, your kind of connection is you're going to work on dharma with each other, right? Now we talk about karmic lessons. This is what I call fate, right? And some connections, if you look at that connection in the Akashic record, you could have several past lives with this person and you have played out many roles with each other. But when we say karmic, it means that you kind of brought the worst side of each other, right? Or past lives, right? There's envy, or there's resentment, or there's jealousy, or there's this injustice or something that's unfair, right? So it's kind of like that we call the never-ending cycle of you did something to me and it's unfair, and then you try to mend it, and then it's unfair on you, and then that kind of back and forth type of thing. And usually when it's a fated connection, it's more it feels can be like a mistake, right? It will feel like that. Even though it's a part of your soul growth, it will feel like a mistake, or it will feel dissatisfying. It will not bring the best out of you, right? And those connections are just as important as these other connections that I refer to as these your soul team, or you're working together on your creative destiny, right? These fated agreements will say, where you've had many past lives with them, but those past lives have something unresolved, right? Like, let's say in a past life you were enemies, right? And you have to resolve that. Or in the past life they did something to you, or you did something to them that was unfair, unjust, right? And it's fated for you to resolve these connections. But these connections in many ways can like bring the worst out of you, or these connections, even we can talk about like dealing with karmic lessons, that there's abuse or neglect, or this connection is very belittling or self-defeating, right? Because that fate, right, dealing with that is really to teach you growth when it comes to personal power, right? So these connections are can be very painful. These fated connections, these sort of karmic partnerships, it's like that cause and effect. It's very painful, right? When you have these past lives and there's something unfair and unjust, and you have to make amends, you have to forgive, you have to end the cycle. And a lot of people don't know how to end the cycle, so they just keep it going on and on, right? In this life, and then they carry the resentment into the next life, and then so on and so forth, right? So in our free will, we really do have the power to really move this time space in the way we desire, right? When we step into our manifestation, right? When we step into our alchemy, right? Because the whole goal of being in the physical is to have that access we can to the fifth dimension, right? Because in this moment now, you can bring fulfillment to soul contracts. Either, I mean, you can have these sort of soul contracts with people like ex-partners, and let's say, you know, they want to meet you in the next life. You can resolve that just through your own meditation, right? You know, because I'm sure, you know, there's all kinds of connections where they're like, I'll just see you in the next life, and we'll you know, meet up in the next life. We really don't want to have that type of perspective, right? We really don't want to have that I'll meet you in the next life type of thing, right? Because we really, you know, we really want to be focused on liberation and inner freedom. We don't know where we're going to be in this next life, we could say, right? I mean, we have, when we step more into our manifestation ability, yeah, we are already creating our future, and we can already see our future lives and where we're going, right? I've had many visions of myself in future lives, right? Based on the current choice I'm making right now, right? And a lot of people, they're not making any choices, right? They're just like leaving it up to, you know, whatever impulse that they, right? And the choice I'm talking about making is the choice of reclaiming your manifestation power. A lot of people, they're just like, I'll just, you know, I'm not going to make any choice about what I can do creatively in this moment now, right? So when you really start to cultivate your creative energy in this life, that's when you really start to get better choices in partners, life partners, and then you start to really change the game, right, of this soul contract, these soul agreements, right? Because you can be, let's say, you know, have you know, these type of agreements, soul contracts, with particular friends or connections, and you do have a say, right? And not every connection you feel on a deep soul connection is meant to be romantic, or meant that person's your life partner, right? There's so much more to soul contract or soul agreement than just marriage, right? There's a connection I met at the DMV, and we were talking for like, what, 2 hours in line, basically. And I felt like that was a fulfillment of some sort of soul contract, where we kind of met each other in the fifth dimension and decided, you know, we wanted to have that kind of experience. And that experience would bring about a spiritual awakening, right? A spiritual awakening. So you can have that with teachers, with friends, with acquaintances, right? There's so much more than just an attachment to a particular person, right? The soul family, fated agreements, it's just, there's so much possibility, and there's so much opportunity. So when we start to really reclaim our self-worth, then we start to really tap into we want the best possibility for us, not just, oh, I'll just kind of settle for that. You know, when we really start to reclaim our self-worth, we want the best possibility, the best opportunity for us, right? So when you really start to raise your vibration, when you reclaim your self-worth, these, you know, these type of fated, right, that can be also tied to your childhood, right? Where, you know, I'm fated to have these type of connections, like, or this type of marriage, right? When you really reclaim your self-worth, you can just rise above all of that and don't even have to experience any of that, right? When we talk about people who've had like 10 relationships and they're all the same thing, it's like they're all just the same person, just different bodies, right? It's just the same kind of thing, the same situation, just repeating itself, right? When you begin to reclaim your self-worth, you can rise above all of that. You don't need to even participate that, right? But it's going to require you to trust your intuition, and it's going to require you to think higher, right? To think higher of yourself, right? So anything that's dissatisfying or unfulfilling, there's something inside that's saying there's something inside of you you need to look at, right? Because whatever, it could even be your twin flame. It could be a very deep connection, right? But if there's this dissatisfaction, there's something very unfulfilling, or if there's something you want, right? Because God wants to give you what you want, but there's something you want, and something you want creatively. I'm just gonna say that, right? Because we have all kinds of, I want this, that, and the other, but whatever is the passion that's in your belly, that's what you really want. That passion that's in your belly, that's turning in you. That is your creative force. That's your creative destiny. That's your creative choice. That is your creative fulfillment, your spiritual fulfillment. I think that's turning inside of you, whatever it is. If there's a connection that's not serving that, and it's called think higher, right? Think higher. So we could be married many times in life, and I think in this current age, there really is no judgment, right, on marriages and divorces, because that's kind of a thing, right? And a part of early marriages, or we talk about it's really, you're looking at your creative destiny, you're looking at your fate, right? And you're looking at your free will, right? And they're very different when you look at it in a perspective of a marriage. And sometimes, we got to go through these agreements to have that spiritual awakening, because relationships are the greatest catalysts. So when you're married to somebody and it's fated, meaning, you got married very young, and this, let's say you're a woman and you married a man who's just like your father, and let's say your father was abusive, and you didn't think your husband was going to be abusive, but then you started to be very angry and agitated, right? That's fated. And that's a spiritual awakening. That person's a catalyst. It can be a very painful catalyst to really get you to reclaim the worth that was stolen or stripped of you at a very young age, right? So and we don't even really wake up to that until we have that spiritual awakening, right? Or for example, let's say you were married, and let's say you're a man, and this woman, she's just so creative, right? And she awakens this talent in you that let's say you're a man, and you never thought you would be a writer, right? Like you love reading, but you never thought you would write your own sort of body of work. And let's say the kind of fate, right, is, let's say you as a man had a mother who was like a teacher. Let's say she taught creative writing class, or poetry class, or ceramics class at a high school. And the fate, right, is you have a woman, right, who kind of mirrors that childhood that you had, where you had the mother who really who really instilled in you worth. So you can go either way, right? On the polarity scale, right? You can have a childhood where worth is stripped of you. Worth is it seems like it's stolen from you, right? From the childhood or whatever kind of dynamic. But also your worth can be instilled in you, right, from the childhood, that gives you, I'm fated to have a relationship that is gives more worth to me, right, that elevates my self-worth. So it can go either way. And that's why parenting in the childhood is very, very important, because it can elevate your worth. It can do nothing for your worth. It can elevate your worth. It can do nothing for your worth. It can strip your worth from you, right? And that's kind of what I see it. It elevates your worth. It can do nothing for your worth, right? When I see kids, or these parents have 5 kids, and none of their kids are in any activities, recreational, nothing, right? That does nothing for a child's worth, right? Or it steals your worth, and that is dysfunctional, father, abuse, or mother alcoholic, these type of things. It can strip your worth. And when we go into these marriages, either young age, like you're 25, 21, or even when you're older, and you have that sort of spiritual awakening where you realize, wait a minute, this is basically mirroring to me what I think of myself. What have what do I, basically a relationship shows you what you think of yourself and what you think your worth is. So if you are in that and you're like, you feel mistake, it feels like a mistake, or it just feels dissatisfying, unfulfilling, you're really, the spiritual awakening, the great lesson is about reclaiming your worth. And when you reclaim your worth, you start to think higher of yourself, right? And that's when you really start to step into your creative destiny. And that creative destiny and partnerships, acquaintances, that type of relationship is going to be based on spiritual fulfillment, right? And it's going to be based off of creating something like a lineage, right? And a lineage is all about creating a generation, or supporting future generations of high self-worth. And not everybody has a lineage. I mean, we all have bloodline, we all have our ancestral line, and we all have this lineage, right? Because we're all right, we're all in this lineage. But not every generation within that particular lineage or that bloodline is actually trying to elevate it. Like I said, you can elevate self-worth, you can do nothing for self-worth, or you can lower the self-worth, right? And a lineage is about when you say the word lineage, you're basically making an agreement with your bloodline. I'm going to elevate the lineage. I'm going to elevate. Usually people who are not elevating their lineage don't use that word. They don't, it's not in their vocabulary. It's just not in their it's just not in their vocabulary, right? It goes beyond their head. They're like, lineage, what is that? Right? Because lineage is different from legacy. Legacy, I see it as a legacy of love, a legacy of creative expression, a legacy of your craftsmanship. Legacy is craftsmanship. It's basically, you could see legacy is the craftsmanship. It's like the backbone, right? But lineage is about the self-worth, right? It's a self-worth. It is thinking higher of yourself. It's thinking wisely, right? And you need that, right? So that you can attract, right? You can be magnetic. You can be radiant. So I see lineage is basically, the teachings. Every lineage that has this kind of wealth has teachings. Lineage is about teachings. It's about knowledge. It's about wisdom. Legacy is about craftsmanship. It's about, like when a father, teaches his son, this is how I make this. This is how I make this pot. Let me show you how to make this pot. Right? So that you can one day make this pot on your own, so that you one day can sell this pot, so that you one day can actually, be wealthy, or take care of yourself, right? Legacy is like, let me show you how to take care of yourself, right? Let me show you craftsmanship. Let me give you skill. Let me give you talent. Let me give you gift, right? So that you're not running around, just doing things that you shouldn't be doing, right? But lineage is basically about the teachings. It's the teachings, it's the knowledge, it's the wisdom that's obtained, right? So whenever you think of a lineage, like of prosperity, you're thinking of, this group, right? These generations have been refining this knowledge, or have been cultivating this knowledge, and have been sharing it, right? And that's about your self-worth, right? Because every knowledge of, these virtues we talk about, virtues and knowledge and wisdom, is all about reclaiming your self-worth, right? Which is your God-given, right, inheritance, you can say, that all human beings have. And it raises the caliber. It raises the possibility and opportunity for you. Right? So all of us, you can say, we have our soul agreements before we come into this life, right? Before we come into this life, we have these soul agreements, creative destiny, where that's about collaboration. That's about, working together with people, business wise, friendship wise, acquaintance wise, even like, life partner wise, where we're wanting to build something together on this planet creatively, right? That's about stepping into your creative power. And then the fate has to do again with past lives, and that is about mending, resolving, healing, repairing, restoring, forgiveness, right? Forgiveness is a lot of the fated sort of contracts, right? So when it comes to releasing, so we're going to do a meditation about releasing soul contracts that let's say they no longer serve. And how you know they no longer serve you is that firstly you feel like you're holding yourself back, right? Because again, we have free will, right? We have free will, and we do have many opportunities and many possibilities, right? And let's say that, even when it comes to a life partner, right? A lot of people, we can get so set on like this life partner, right? This soul contract, right? But we don't realize the life partner is really about our self-worth and how we express that and how we claim that, how we demand that in this earth, right? How we show up for that. Right? And so when we start, let's say we claim our self-worth, we demand our self-worth, right? And we start to show up for our self-worth, right? By saying no to anything that just doesn't really give us that real passion in us, right? Or we hold ourselves back, or it just doesn't give us that passion. It doesn't really help us to step deep into our creative, exuberance. We say no. That's showing up for your self-worth. Or showing up for your self-worth is doing what you need to do as a woman or as a man to feel really good about yourself, right? It to show up for your self-worth is to do something that makes you feel really, really good, right, about yourself. And also showing up for your self-worth is like a rite of passage into manhood, into womanhood, where you start to cultivate these virtues, right? These virtues, right? These virtues that make you a quite exceptional, extraordinary, and fearless person, right? That's going to up level and that's going to sort of demand a certain kind of life partnership, right? So when you're not showing up for your self-worth, that's going to give you a different type of life partnership, right? So it's really all about your sort of the sort of command of your presence, right? The command of your radiance, the command of your creative destiny, and that that passion you have for it, right? So when it comes to self-worth, right, in life partnership, it's really about you being brave, and you being charismatic, and you being a dreamer, and you initiating yourself into these higher levels of your self-expression, right? And I'm telling you, there's, we can have different life partners at these different levels of our passion and our confidence and our personal power and our radiance, right? And you could see it in people's lives, like they have these different marriages, right? Like we're married at like 20 and, married 20 to like 28, and then get married at like 32, and then maybe get divorced at like 35. And then you could see like each of these relationships represent a different, it's almost like they're in a different phase or a different level of their self-initiation. And that relationship mirrors to them their spiritual growth, right? So as you continue to spiritually grow, it would make sense, right, that you would be experiencing the shedding of relationships, right? But I'm telling you, the relationships were in this soul ascension or soul awakening that are that really kind of go with you are usually the connections that are glued to you, right? That go with you, that are glued to you, because you have the same creative destiny. Because the sort of point in our ascension, we can say that we really want to get to is creative destiny. And if you share the same kind of creative destiny with your person, you could, let's say you met and you're 15, right? And you are in a totally different spiritual growth. 15, let's say now you're, 25, and this person was like a childhood friend, and they've always been around, like they've always been with you since that time when you met, like in high school or something. And as you grow, exceptionally, and as they grow, your growth is very much going almost in the same direction, right? Even though you have, years apart, or you are 5 years apart, or you haven't spoken in a while, and you were just friends in grade school, but you kind of speak here and there, like every year or every 2 years or something like that. But every time you connect, it's like you are in the same kind of, you're potentiating yourself in that creative destiny that's very much the kind of the same thing, right? And that's what we call about soul companion, soul family, your spiritual team, right? And not everybody has that. When you talk about the faded connections, where it's like it diffuses or it fades, that type of thing that people experience, it that can be very much a part of your fate, the fate, the spiritual growth, the wake-up call, right? And a lot of people, when they experience the sting or the burn, it's a wake-up call, and it's really about reclaiming your self-worth, right? So that you can really start to manifest what you want, rather than in the faded, which is like the repeating, and then feeling the same mistake, and then going into the darkness, and then staying there for a while, and then wasting time, and that type of thing. So when we reclaim our self-worth, that's when we start to get into the manifestation. We start to show up for our self-worth. We start to do what we feel guided to do for our spiritual fulfillment, because that creative destiny is about wish fulfillment. It's about working together with people on creating a legacy, craftsmanship, right? And as you spiritually grow and you mature from certain ages, from like 20 and like to 30, your vision of yourself is going to get more refined the more that you really start to step into your creative choice, right? So when there's something that's, you're discontent, it's unfulfilling, whatever it is, you can fulfill whatever you tie or attachment you feel to that person, because you feel like you have a soul connection, or you feel there's a soul agreement. Soul agreements can be fulfilled in a multitude of ways. It's a multitude of ways that we as human beings cannot really sort of really conceptualize, right? For example, you can feel, like, for example, soul contract my mother had with my father, was the fulfillment of that was having me. That is what fulfilled the soul contract, right? Very simple. We wouldn't really think of that. Or even like it could bring some kind of, whatever it is, the fairness, or bring some sort of empowerment to it. And that can be empowerment for you, that can be empowerment for them, but just overall, just empowerment in general, right? Because you don't need that other person to feel empowered, by the way, right? So let's say, you have, something of the past, you were done wrong, or whatever that thing is, unfair and unjust. When you empower yourself, it doesn't matter if that person is, really down in the dumps and disempowered. The empowerment is what sets free the connection you have with that person. Now, a part of free will, and a part of, is we have to get our personal power on our own. We cannot do it on behalf of other people, right? And the angels know that. The ancestors know that. That's why they the aliens, Pleiadians, know that they cannot go into our bodies and do it for us, right? So when you empower yourself, you automatically bring fulfillment to any and all connections that you may even not even be aware of, or aware of, that there's a soul agreement, like you could have with your grandfather or your great grandmother that you never met, but maybe once when you were two, right? But just you empowering yourself and reclaiming your worth actually does set free these attachments and these ties that could be from past lives that are very faded. And they can, they're based off of, I see these kind of faded connections as more as like, does nothing for your worth. And you'll see people as like, this relationship has done nothing for your worth, right? Or it takes your worth, it steals your worth, or no one can really steal worth from somebody, but it gives you that illusion that they stole your worth, they took it from you, right? They sort of degraded your worth, and you'll know that, and you'll feel a little angry about it, you'll feel frustrated. And that's why, inner childhood anger is really a thing. You'll see 55-year-old men with inner childhood anger because they feel like their mother or their father did nothing for their worth, or they downgraded their worth, right? And we know as human beings, you cannot get anything done without worth. You can't get anything done, right? You're just going to live in the fate of your life. And nobody wants to live in the fate of the life. It's the category of nothing does nothing for my worth, or it downgrades my worth. And nobody wants to live in that categories, right? So, elevating worth is really about that life partner that we really desire, right? And that's why we get married and divorced, because, at the end of the day, we want wish fulfillment. We want to manifest. We want to build a lineage. We want to create a destiny, right? So in releasing connections, right? Soul contracts, ties, whatever it is that is giving you this discontent, right? And let's say you've had that for a while, or, again, it can just be something you need to realize within yourself, right? There's something inside of you that you need to fulfill, right? And that might not even have to be that person. Let's say it's not that person. Or let's say, you could be married, and let's say you're feeling this discontent within yourself about this connection. It probably isn't even that person. You know what I'm saying? It's probably there's something in you that you're needing to fulfill, right? And you'll know if it's this connection, because it will do nothing for your worth, or it will degrade your worth, right? And you will know, right? If it's done nothing for your worth. And there's people who've been married for 50 years and that relationship has done nothing for their worth, or has degraded the worth over time. Like their worth has just gotten dull and dull over the 50 years, right? So, a lot of times there's this dissatisfaction or whatever, this unfulfillment that you feel in this connection. There's something that you need to fulfill. There's something like that tossing and turning in your gut, right? That fire of desire, that passion in you, is guiding you towards a life partner, or a life partnership, that is going to feed the fire. Right? And not every connection is gonna feed the fire. We all have a fire, and we're meant to have energy, a lot of energy. So people have a lot of fire, right? It means they have a lot of a lot of self-worth that they can work with, right? If they sort of move that fire more towards creative energy, right? Creative purpose. So, we're, that life partnership, we talk about that soul family of kind of working together, building a lineage. You're feeding each other's fire. And I think in soul connections and soul agreements, in the fulfillment of that, you sort of the releasing of that, people have their free will choices. Even on the twin flame journey, people have their free will choices, and people can choose, just like your parents or your grandparents chose relationships that were more faded, right? We call karmic, where it's just cause and effect, basically, right? The cause is the childhood that created this idea of self-worth, and then the effect is I have a relationship that basically is what I was programmed to believe my self-worth was when I was a child, right? And, people can go into that free will. People can make that choice, right? And I'm sure we all have seen relationships where they're not feeding each other's fire, right? It's like, does nothing for your worth, right? And just paying your bills is not really what the partnership is about. It's about feeding the fire. Fire creates friction. Fire creates that kind of, that heat, right? That anger, whatever, that anger. But it also creates a lot of energy that can be used for creative exploration and creative destiny. So, and like I said, there's so much possibility and there's so much opportunity for us to experience our excellence in a life partnership. It's just a matter of us reclaiming our self-worth and starting to command ourselves, command ourselves by showing up more for our self-worth, by feeding our fire, by believing in ourselves, right? And the more that we do that, the more that our vision of a life partnership will change. Our vision of life partnership when we were like, let's say we're 21, was totally different from when we're 25 to 30, 35, right? And I really do feel life partnership is about feeding the fire, and it is about lineage. It's about creative destiny, right? And we can hold ourselves back from that because we have these kind of, again, we can still feel like our worth is wrapped up in our childhood, or our worth is wrapped up in a connection, a past connection, a connection we're fixated on, or some sort of soul contract. We can even create blockages when it comes to life partnership through these, attachments we have around us, or past attachments, or these ruts we can get ourselves in with these kind of soul agreements or soul contracts with parents or grandparents, or whatever it is, right? So we really want to fulfill these, and it's not so much of me to speak to them, it's just more so of empowering yourself, reclaiming your worth, right? And that will give this universal understanding. I understand you are where you are at. I respect that, right? Even if I'm not choosing to be there with you, right? Really, when we really start to step into that life partnership, it's really, you're starting to step into, I understand where you are at. I respect where you're at, right? Right? And that gives you this freedom to move on, to move forward, right? And a lot of, when we get, into these attachments with, the faded connections, it can be very painful for us to have to navigate and have to heal and recover from, right? Some of them, for many people, can be quite exhausting, right? Because you're dealing more with a connection that's based off of free will, that's based off of, I don't believe in my self-worth, I don't believe in myself, so I'm just going to, get in this kind of chaos with somebody, right? Some people have that kind of chaos, right? Where you don't believe in your self-worth. What happens is you can create chaos in connections, right? We talk about dysfunction, right? And a lot of people, it can take a long, some time to really, balance out your self-worth from that, right? But all of this is a part of your spiritual growth. It's a part of you, it's a part of you getting back to you, right? And all of the, these chaos connections, or whatever this feels immature, right? Connections, or emotionally unavailable connections, whatever the dissatisfaction is, we're married and then we hate each other's guts, and resentment, all that. It's really, you're looking at your spiritual growth, right? And you're looking at reclaiming your self-worth. And people who do, they use that fire that we have, instead of using it for resentment and anger towards their spouse or whatever who cheated on them, they're using it for creative fulfillment. They're using it for the raising of the kundalini. They're using it for raising of consciousness. And sometimes, in order to get people moving off their asses, you have to create some heat, you have to create some friction, right? So that they can get off their ass and jump up, right? And I think a lot of, these resentments and these pains and, they cheated on me and all of that stuff is really like a wake-up call. I see it more as a wake-up call about you need to reclaim your self-worth, right? As a woman, as a man. And you need to start to use that fire that God gave you, that deep fire, right? To work on that creative destiny, because a lot of people who go through these, I see these, dark type of relationships or dysfunction, it could even be from childhood, they have so much creative energy that they really want to work with, and they want to jumpstart that, they want to revive that, they want to get to it so bad, they just don't know how. So they have to go through that resentment or that bitterness or that anger so that they can really start to learn their inner fire, right? So that eventually, they can start to, maybe not in this life, but in future lives, they can start to know how to direct that fire, right? How to use it creatively, how to raise a kundalini, how to raise a consciousness with that fire. So that they can start to have, instead of a fire of, oh, I hate you forever, start to use that for, the elevating of the self-worth of themselves and their lineage. So that's kind of what I see about the soul contracts. And again, the more that you elevate your self-worth and the more that you show up for you, it's not just elevating, showing up for your self-worth, right? By doing what you need to do to direct that passion, that fire in you, that childlike, that childlike knowing, right? The gift, the talent, the craftsmanship, and really start to direct it out into the world and really start to demand, right? Because the ancestors, they speak on behalf of you, and they're so demanding about, the things that you will achieve and the things that you will succeed in this life. It can be very demanding. It's like a mother who, who demands that you go to dance class, and you're like, no, I don't want to do it, and demand, no, you're going to go do it, right? I'm sure we all had those parents where, like, I don't want to do it, but they're like, oh, you going to be doing it. You're going to be doing it for sure, right? So that's kind of like with the ancestors and the universe, like they will demand us to, like, oh no, you go into that dance class. You going every Tuesday and Thursday, right? And the only times you ain't going is if you're so sick that you are like coughing a storm, right? And that's friction right there. That's fire, that's energy, right? And that's what gets us going, right? So again, we could have beautiful connections, beautiful relationships, like marriages, for example, and they fade out because, again, we could have an agreement that we want to connect into only for a certain portion of our evolution, right, or spiritual growth, and then that we have a agreement that it's once we fulfill whatever that time, that spiritual growth we wanted to have, then we will move our separate ways. And what really is the sort of empowering, that's most empowering for human beings, is when you have that understanding, you have that respect, where you're not trying to force each other, you're not trying to attach to each other, you're not necessarily these hate and resentment stuff, right? That is really showing that we're more in the fate of does nothing for our worth, and it degrades our worth. Because when you're in that understanding, you really want to learn about how this connection is. You really want to learn, and you really want to learn how this connection is showing you yourself, rather than you're the problem or whatever that chaos is. It doesn't get anywhere for a lot of people, right? And that 5 resentment, people can spend decades on that and one day wake up and realize, man, I wish I was more creative instead of destructive, right? So everything is a kind of a spiritual wake-up call, but when it comes to your destiny, right, when it comes to your fate, the more that you elevate your self-worth, which we're going to do through this prayer, the more that you're expanding your imagination, you're tapping into new possibility on behalf of all your ancestors and lineage. You're also really, you're up-leveling the opportunity. You're sort of, you're alchemizing your opportunity for love, connection, and you're working on your manifestation. You're connecting. When you have that union with God, which is self-worth, when you have union with God, you feel very brave, very mighty, very true. When you have that union with God, and when you have that, you start to really feel into what is possible and what is available and what is opportunity. And when you start to really feel into that, you're not so much about a soul contract or an attachment or a particular person or a fixation. You're more about the fulfillment of your creative destiny. And those people who are aligned with that in this physical reality are going to be the ones who are going to show up. And those, regardless of whatever you feel towards them, whatever soul connection or whatever attachment you feel, if you really make it clear that this creative destiny is right, and then they're not showing up, and if they're not, whatever it is, if it's just there's opportunities, right, for you. So I really feel we're going to do this meditation on really opening up opportunities, because I feel a lot of clearing of soul contracts, soul ties, attachments, expectations. Is really, we're going to clear that out through opening up opportunity for us to receive, right? To receive and to show up for our self-worth. So I'm going to call upon Archangel Michael. I'm going to call upon Archangel Gabriel. I'm going to call upon Archangel Metatron. I'm going to call upon Archangel Zachiel. I'm going to call upon Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene. I'm going to call upon Archangel Chamuel. I'm going to call upon Archangel Sendifin. My intention is clear. My intention is pure. I raise my vibration. I raise my vibration. We're going to clear soul contracts, soul agreements that are no longer valid, out of date, soul contracts. We're going to peacefully fulfill them, resolve them, so that we can move on into the next level of our spiritual growth and development, either with these soul companions or soul connections, or without. We're freeing ourselves, we're liberating ourselves so that we can raise our vibration and miraculously attract soul connection that is going to support the creative destiny. So really focus now on your creative destiny. What is that for you? See that in your third eye, in your mind's eye. Go into the space deep within you and see that soul, then the soul level, that creative fulfillment, that creative destiny. See it in you, and don't attach it to a person. See it in yourself. Don't attach it to anything, any idea, any belief. Just see it free. Just see it. Whatever is the first thing that comes to mind, or feels that passion that kind of stirs you inside, that gets you going, that makes you feel so enthusiastic and so whole and in union with God and creation. Now, I want you to see the soul contract or soul agreement that you may feel. Again, you will know as you continue to reclaim your worth. You will know, you will feel it. Okay, just get really clear with it. And or if you feel a connection that, let's say, marriage or a past connection, whatever it is that's coming to mind, that's in your mind at this time, right? That's why you're here at this practice. So just see whatever soul contract or soul agreement that you feel to a person. Person could even be a place, it could even be a thing. But you feel like you're holding yourself back. So step into the person, place, or thing that you feel is holding you back. that's holding you back, or you're holding yourself back from your creative destiny due to something unresolved about this connection, or something unresolved about this person, place, or thing. Unresolved meaning something that doesn't feel complete, something that confused you, something that makes you constantly ponder and wonder and need to know. We're trying to get clear. We're trying to get that clarity. So just go deep. So you're holding yourself back in any way. You're really seeing the person, place, or thing and what it is that you truly need but are not getting. Be honest. What is it that you truly need? And think about the fire in your gut as well. Think of it from the perspective of your passion, that yearning to really raise your vibration and claim, your worth, elevate your worth. See, how's this person, place, or thing? And just really say to them what it is you need. Be honest. And if they can't give you what that is that you need for your passion, for your creative destiny, then peacefully understand the difference and reclaim your self-worth. When you reclaim your self-worth, you'll feel passion. You'll feel more enthusiastic. You'll feel so much more passion. You'll feel new possibilities. You'll feel this openness. You'll feel very receptive when you start to really step into your worth. You'll feel very brave when you're in your worth. You'll feel very, very brave. So just kind of whatever connection you feel, again, we're focusing on one, but you can come back and do this meditation and do a different connection. It could be a father, it could be a lover, it could be a brother, something that's really heavy on your mind. Let's say you're needing something, you're needing, like, let's say forgiveness, or you're needing them to apologize, or you're needing, you have this passion, this creative destiny that you're needing something. Just be honest with God. Okay. When you feel it, now expand. Expand beyond this person, place, or thing. Expand into the realm of your imagination. Expand to the realm of your imagination. Again, we're clearing out any soul contract or any soul agreement that is no longer valid or is not feeding the fire of our creative destiny, the passion we have, which is fine. It's reverently sort of bow and respectfully understand the person, place, or thing may no longer be a part of your movement forward, and that we must shed. We'll shed energy, we'll shed people, places, and things continuously throughout time and multiple lifetimes. It's a part of nature. It's very natural to do this. It is not harmful to people. It's not harmful to ourselves to do this as well. It's actually quite liberating. It's an ecstatic experience that brings greater joy by doing so. Okay, now expand. Now connect higher. Connect higher. See yourself higher. See your self-worth elevated higher. And now see a connection. Again, just feel the energy, right? It will come to you. You may even see a person, place, or thing. But feel it. Feel the new possibility, the opportunity. See it, feel it. Summon it. And see this providing what you need for your creative destiny. See it. And when you feel it, when you know something's really aligned with your creative destiny, you're going to feel this passion. Like, you're going to feel so lively and enthusiastic. You're not going to feel low, and you're not going to be in this does nothing for my worth or degrades my worth. You're going to feel like it elevates my worth. So really connect with that person, place or thing, that agreement. Again, agreements, you have free will. There's more than meets the eye. There's so much possibility, opportunity. But when you show up for your self-worth as you're doing now, you're starting to really create union with God, and you really start to demand what you need to succeed. You're starting to demand it. You're seeing yourself as God. God is me. Me and God are one. That becomes that mantra. So see it. See this higher worth in you. See this higher worth in you. Show up for it now. See what this higher worth, this higher confidence, when you're in your passion, your creative destiny, you're feeling so good about yourself. And see that type of partner it attracts. One that gives you what you need to be in a higher creative destiny of you. When you're in the highest creative destiny of you, the life partner will feed the fire in you. Will not sort of, the fire won't be the same or degrading or lowering the fire. It will feed the fire in you, giving you more. Life partner gives you more opportunity to shine, not less or none. A life partner gives you more opportunity to shine, not less or none at all. So see this partner, expand beyond whatever soul contract or tie or attachment you have of the past or the present that is not feeding the fire. It's not giving you opportunity to shine, or it's withholding, it's not doing anything at all for your self-worth. You'll feel it, because you'll feel this dullness about you, about this dullness. And also, you can, even if you are in a marriage or something, and you really want to connect with how you as a woman or a man in the relationship can really, because it's not so much about a person, it's about also you as well showing up. To see, how can I show up for my self-worth so that I can bring more passion into this connection? Because any relationship, regardless if you're, married 15, 20, 30 years, there's meant to be passion. There's meant to be a fire, the creative destiny. You're meant to create something wonderful together. You're meant to create beauty and endeavors and projects and adventures that give you this expansion of your self-worth and opportunities to shine. Now see you and this person both shining together. See them, you both shining together. Now, if you still feel any tie you have to a past connection or any soul agreement, or that it still comes up, just peacefully allow yourself to expand beyond it, to reclaim your self-worth by demanding that you need to rise. And if a person, place, or thing does not desire to rise with you, allow this person to go. If they need to go, or if they want to go, allow them to go. So see yourself rising, see yourself becoming more enthusiastic, more passionate, more fulfilled in your creative destiny. And any connection that can't keep up with you, allow them to go. And see the connection. Focus on the imagination, the possibility, opportunity for you to really shine in a connection. See that you can really shine in this connection. This person allows you to shine. This person allows you to give. This person allows you to receive. This person is available. This person desires the creative destiny. Go deep, meditate deeper, see yourself and the opportunity to really shine. What does that look like? What does that feel like? See yourself in the opportunity to really shine. Go deeper. Now just see yourself in your creative destiny. What is it that you're doing creatively? See yourself, because it's not just about a person. It's also about you fulfilling your own creative destiny. That's about your individuality. That's nothing to do with a person. That's to do everything with your agreement with yourself. Every soul contract, soul agreement has to do with an agreement you have with your creativity in this life, the agreement you have with your union with God. That's a personal journey. That's a personal choice. That's about you in the wish fulfillment of your own harmony with God. That's your own personal harmony with God. And these people, these places, these things are very much there to help facilitate that, help give you that greater chance, greater opportunity to really have a deeper union with God, or to have that union, that harmony with God, by giving you the wake-up call, giving you the wisdom, giving you the integrity, giving you the showing you yourself, showing you your self-worth, showing you the childhood that did nothing for your self-worth, degraded your self-worth, or elevated your self-worth, showing you the talents, the gifts in you that need to awaken, that need to come out. So see your creative destiny and see it. You can see it expressed in this partnership. And see you fulfilling this creative destiny within yourself, within a connection. Or you can say life partnership. See that creative destiny being fulfilled. See this connection that is you're having with yourself and your creativity. See that passion. If your passion, see what is your passion. See your passion. Is your passion dull? Is it weak? You cannot blame a person for this. This is reclaiming your worth. Reclaiming your worth is taking responsibility for your spiritual awakening. Every person is a wake-up call. Either you listen or you don't. But if you listen, you're starting to work with your intuition. You're starting to receive higher opportunity to excel. We're not here to blame and shame and sort of belittle each other, blaming each other, pointing the fingers. It's you. No, it's you. You can spend lifetimes doing that. Just looking at your own passion, your own creativity, and starting to feed it for yourself. How can you show up for it? What do you need to do to show up for it? Is it an exercise, a meditation, a routine, an affirmation, a mantra? Is it travel, relocation, new job? Just be honest with it. What is this sort of, how can you better feed your passion so your passion is exuberant, so your passion is shining, so your passion is extraordinary and is wild? So raising the kundalini, working on that passion. You're also working on the inner child, shining your light, being radiant. Now seeing, you can see that extended into a life partnership, and being honest with yourself. Reclaim your integrity. Society will try to strip you of integrity. Reclaim your integrity now. Be honest with the type of life partnership that's really going to evolve you or help you to ascend to the higher the expression of you. Open up that connection. And if anything comes up, it could be past connection, let's say, whatever, allow your mind to be open and receptive. Don't block anything out. Let your mind be open and receptive. So if there's past connections, parents, grandparents, lover, just be open, but be discerning as well. And with everything that, any connection, any tie or attachment that you still feel, just again, peacefully, reverently reclaim your self-worth by focusing on the creative destiny, the passion that is your excellence. And any person that cannot give you the opportunity to shine your light, or who does nothing for your worth or degrades your worth, just peacefully give thanks to the fated lesson that has come to you, gave you a dark night of the soul or a spiritual wake-up call, or even was very beautiful for you at some time. That gave you maybe awakening, dark night of the soul again. And just give thanks, because they're showing you the fate so that you can heal from the fate. Whatever is low in you, whatever is feeling insecure in you, so yet you can face that and give thanks to these people, because you won't be elevating without facing the fate of where you've been in past lives, in your childhood. You needed these kind of catalytic people so that you could really look at your fate. You could look at how you've been functioning, and is that elevating your worth? Is that doing nothing for your worth or degrading your worth? And you really get to look at that through the wake-up call, no matter how painful it is. But when you focus on your creative destiny, you're giving yourself the energy, the will, the perseverance, the personal power to actually rise above. Get out of the resentment. You need creative destiny to get out of resentment that can keep you there, wasting time for decades. Now I'm going to hold this fire here on my heart. I'm just going to imagine, I can feel the flame at my heart chakra. I'm just going to imagine that flame is helping me to transmute any emotional frustration, emotional pain, emotional whatever it is that I have due to any connection, a tie. It could be from childhood, parents, ex-partners, whatever it is that comes to mind. Just let this fire kind of burn out. Let it literally, instead of being burnt out by anything that took a lot of emotions from us, this caused a lot of emotional ache and pain and turmoil and trauma and anything. Allow this fire to rejuvenate and to renew the heart so that you can be brand new, so that you can invite in new love. For those of you want new love in your marriage, right? That's gotten a little bit worn down, or needing the will or the passion to get a divorce, or needing the will, passion to relocate, the will and passion to follow your dreams. Really ignite the renewal of your heart so that you can be passionate. When our heart is closed, our heart is, not working, we don't have a lot of passion. Life gets quite depressing and dull when we're not having this renewal of our heart chakra. So just see this fire at the heart, kind of burning through the sort of anything that's sort of holding you back, or sort of blocking the shine that wants to shine through you, the radiance, and feel yourself brave and charismatic. So if you've been feeling dull, if you've been feeling weak or fatigued or drained or burnt out, really reclaim the bravery, the charisma in you. Say, I am brave, I am charismatic. My personal power and my grit is mighty. I am brave, I am charismatic. My personal power and grit is mighty. I am brave, I am charismatic. My personal power and grit is mighty. Now see yourself mighty. This is the excellence. This is the passion. This is what you need to restore in your marriage, or if you're getting divorced, restore in your ability to make a life for yourself. If you're single, this is the opportunity for you to really shine your light and receive a high opportunity that's going to elevate your worth rather than do nothing for your worth or degrade your worth. And just see the connections that have done nothing for your worth, have degraded your worth, and see the mighty worth, see the mighty connection, the mighty partnership that you want to cultivate in your marriage, or if the divorce, or in letting go of relationship, your mighty bravery and being compassionate regardless, fearlessly compassionate regardless of how resentful or bitter this person is or how you feel. Really making that fire of your anger into fire of creative choice rather than destroying each other and then creating all kinds of chaos in the connection that leaves you both just meeting in the future life again and again and again. So just see the fire in you, see it turning and igniting the passion of your creative destiny, and see the fate, anything the fate is like does nothing for your worth, lowers your worth, degrades your worth. See that all being transmuted into energy that you use for your creative destiny, your elevating worth. And see that person, the opportunity, the person, place, or thing, opportunity for you to really shine your light, and opportunity to shine your light. And if a person doesn't give you opportunity to shine your light, release the connection, any tie, any agreement or soul contract that feels invalid, that no longer feels valid or no longer feels up to date, or it doesn't feel like it's aligned with your creative destiny. Peacefully allow yourself to shed the feelings, the emotions, the connection, the pheromones, whatever it is, the memories, and really raise your worth higher, because we do have different levels of worth. We have different levels of worth. We have a partnership that is that we attract based off of these certain levels of worth. So see yourself in the highest worth when you're shining your light to the brightest, and you're really in your creative destiny, you're really in your personal power, you're really in your excellence. And see that like the highest opportunity for you to receive and to give in a partnership. And what does that look like? What does that feel like? when you have in the higher, again, we have different levels of what we receive, and sometimes we go for certain levels of a partner or partnership because we don't have enough worth to actually really go for the big stuff, because we don't have the worth, we don't have the caliber, we don't show up for the worth the way we need to be able to obtain that or to hold it or maintain it. So see yourself showing up in such a way for your creative destiny that you are receiving a higher opportunity for a soul connection or for a partnership or life partnership. Could even be seeing that in your marriage. A higher opportunity, the highest opportunity for you to shine your light, to fully shine your light in the radiance, and this person giving you that opportunity generously. See that generous connection, that overflowing energy happening within you, that overflowing energy happening in that life partnership. And if see the person, any person that you have attachment to now, or Rudd, or whatever it is, be honest and see, is that person available, wanting that with you, that higher expression of your shining your light, the higher opportunity for you to really be in the higher creative force and higher creative energy that you so demand to be in this life. That is that's your wish fulfillment, everybody's wish fulfillment. See that person that you are to become. See the person that is brave, charismatic, personal power and grit is mighty. See the mighty version of you in the highest self-worth, beyond worth that does nothing for you and worth that is degraded. And see any agreement, again, soul contract, any agreement that does not serve that, or there's heavy expectations, or there's blockages, or whatever that feels like an obstacle, or just feels that it's not allowing you to shine to the way you really want to shine. And see that passion. See yourself having more passion, more energy. See yourself having more passion and more energy to obtain greater creative excellence. And see that partnership with you. Again, if you're single, thinking of life partner, see that life partner with you. Giving you the opportunity to shine, and you giving them the opportunity to shine to the fullest capacity. And see yourself showing up for your self-worth so that you can actually have something like to offer. See your offering. What is your offering? What do you offer? And see what is the offering that God wants to give you in a life partnership that is going to really make you ecstatic and give you more passion and more prosperity and energy. See the fire at the heart, burning through the emotions, the fears, the anxieties, whatever it is that's no longer serving you. Hold it here at the heart chakra. And just allow the heart to open and to raise the self-worth higher, 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 higher. Okay, inhale, exhale. You can open your eyes. I'm going to blow up my candles, a symbol of farewell or release, a symbol of letting go and fully surrendering to my higher creative destiny and the life partner that will give me the opportunity to shine my light and help to feed the fire, or feed the flame, or feed the passion, and also even creating that in the existing relationship. More fire, more passion, more creative destiny, raising my self-worth so that I can really have more to offer, or I can have more to receive. Now we're going to use this mantra very quickly to kind of solidify it. So, hada, 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 hada. So I'm going to pump the navel. Hada, 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 hada. And as you're doing that, pumping the navel, belly button, spine, if you're not pregnant in your first 3 days of your cycle, you're going to visualize the creative destiny. You're going to visualize the fulfillment of the dreams, wish fulfillment, spiritual fulfillment in the partnership that is going letting you shine, or you letting yourself shine, really, you letting yourself shine, having a partnership that lets you shine, and also you raising your self-worth so that you can really start to tap in some deeper creative manifestation. Hada, 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 hada. A clap with the hada, 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 hada. So you can see my belly, belly, belly. Hada, 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 hada. Pump fast, fierce. Hada, 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 hada. Keep going. Hada, 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 hada. You're reprogramming the brain, raising your worth. Hada, 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 hada. Focus on this passion, this creative destiny. Focus on the healing of the fate, healing of the childhood worth, the degraded worth, that does nothing for your worth, and really focusing on the wish fulfillment, the spiritual fulfillment, the life partnership that lets you shine to the fullest capacity, and see yourself in the fullest capacity of you and your self-worth and your energy of manifestation, your energy to command the earth, the stars, the heavens, to open up for you to stand in your mighty excellence. Hada, 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 hada. Hada, 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 hada. Keep going. Hada, 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 hada 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 hada. Make sure you're pressing the tongue on the upper palate of the mouth, flicking it up and down with hada 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 hada. Open your imagination. Open your imagination, open your mind, open your heart, and allow God to receive into you, give to you, receive the higher worth. God is giving it to you now, downloading it into your spine, the higher worth for higher possibility and opportunity in you to excel beyond the limitations. Hada 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 hada. Now press the hands fiercely into each other. Inhale. Squeeze Mula Bandha, press the tongue on the roof of the mouth, press it into the heart, feel the energy in the hands, the healing energy. Hold the breath, feel the healing energy in the hands, heal your heart. Heal your heart. Heal your heart. Exhale. Now, hada, 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 hari. 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 Hara 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 hari. Inhale. Squeeze up. Press the hands firm into each other. Feel the healing energy. Press it into the sternum. Exhale. Inhale. Visualize the partnership of passion, creative destiny. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now just move you kind of move it around the spine. Move it around, open up that spine energy. Breathe long and deep through the nose. You can go the other direction. And just see that kind of spiraling up from the perineum, up the spine, all the way to the top of the head, out, funneling up and going down your spine like a stem. See the roots underneath the perineum. And then see your self-worth, see the excellence of you, see yourself mighty. My bravery and charisma, my bravery and charisma, my personal power and grit is mighty. My bravery and charisma, my personal power and grit is mighty. And just see yourself in that kind of fearless, brave act of elevating your worth beyond the fate of your childhood, your parents, whatever memory or relationship that did nothing for your worth or lowered your worth, degraded your worth. See everything as a wake-up call, everything as a catalyst that is giving you the fuel. Either it's the fuel that can be pain and overcoming pain, and that gives you fuel because it gives you a desire to heal. When you have a desire to heal or a desire to change or desire to move on, that gives you energy. So every relationship, regardless of how painful it feels like it does nothing for our worth or degrades our worth, all of it is giving us a desire. When you think of the mistakes, the embarrassment, the shame, or whatever connection that has left you feeling a certain way, it's all giving you a desire to change. It's giving you this yearning, this longing to change. It's giving you this longing, yearning to be creative. So no connection is, we could say, destroying ourselves, but that's only if we allow it to. But if we allow a desire to be purely creative, pure and creative, that desire, regardless of what connection that gave us the desire, no matter how painful that was, it's giving us the desire to be pure in our creativity. And if we follow that desire and really work with it and show up, instead of waste our time and play a game with it, we start to really show up. We begin to excel beyond the relationship patterns, the fate, the childhood, whatever it is that's holding us back. So see yourself like rising up out of like old pair of shoes or old pair of jeans, rising out of the childhood, the fate, the mistake, the embarrassment, the shame, whatever, past connection, whatever it is, the catalyst, the wake-up call, the devastation, right, the cheating, the cheater, and see yourself really moving into the desire, showing up for the desire. What is your desire in partnership with yourself and in life partner? Get clear. What is your desire? See it now in the coiling of the spine, moving into the coiling of the spine all the way up to each chakra. What is the desire in the partnership with you? See it, and in the partnership. Keep going, keep growing, visualize, really focus. What is your desire? Everything painful gives you a desire to heal, to grow, and to excel. The reason that we waste our time in resentment, bitterness, is because we do not direct our desire towards pure and creative. We direct our desire towards destruction. If you try to destroy someone, you're just going to destroy yourself in the process. That's just how it works. Right? Destroy somebody who cheated on you or lied to you, or you cheated on them, lied. All it is, desire for destruction will only destroy you in time. But when your desire is to be pure and creative, you come out of the chaos, the trenches, you come out of the warfare, the blood spilled on you clean. So see your desire, no matter how destructive or how whatever it is that has been placed upon you, wake up call, a shock, a stunned event, you're amazed, astonished by someone's actions or behaviors or whatever it is that was challenging you, near breaking you or collapsing you in on yourself, making you question in crises in you. See the desire to heal, grow, and excel. See the desire to heal, grow, and excel. See the desire to be pure and creative. Show up for it. Stop wasting your time playing a game with it. See how can you show up for it. Get very honest. Reclaim your integrity. How can you show up for it? Let God, your spirit guides and ancestors speak through you to you. Feel the coiling of the spine opening as your kundalini is raising the kundalini. Feel the turning of your sexual energy. Feel the turning of your passion. Feel the turning of your sexual energy. Feel the turning of your sensual energy. Feel the passion, the fire of the heart moving and expanding to new heights. See the capability of yourself. See the capability of yourself and claim it. Demand that you show up to it now. Keep going, seeing that happen deep within you, raising that self-worth. Keep going, really go deep, even like open the mouth slightly, open the jaw, and you can breathe through the mouth to really tap into that primal energy, that sort of sexual, sensual, like lower chakra energy, to really balance out anything in the lower chakra. Breathe very slow, very primal, really get in touch with the root chakra, the second chakra, third chakra. Again, you're opening the coiling of the spine, letting yourself elevate, letting yourself rise, letting yourself ascend to higher energy within the physical, etheric, radiant energy of you. So really focus your eyes on this root chakra energy, this lower chakra energy, because that's kind of where, that's our self-worth, is in this root chakra energy, right? Sex, money, food, water. So really focus on that self-worth. You're raising it, right? Raising it. Really feel like your spine's getting tall, calling that energy, feel it moving up. Okay, inhale. Squeeze Mula Bandha tight, press the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale. Press the tongue on the roof of the mouth, squeeze Mula Bandha. Exhale. Inhale. Squeeze Mula Bandha, press the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Exhale. And then just kind of go forward and back. Inhale. Squeeze Mula Bandha, press the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Exhale through the nose. So, woo. Feeling all, woo. So that was a meditation, and we did some sort of pranic breath activity to really get in touch with our body. This is a practice you can do daily, right? As you do it more, you're start to get clear, right? And you start to get clear, you start to raise your self-worth, and you just start to know, right? To know what works for you, what doesn't work for you in your relationship with yourself, and also when it comes to how you can really up level and elevate the type of relationship you're in, right? The type of partnership you're in, because we're not meant to have this chaotic, dysfunctional relationship of low self-worth. I've seen a lot of relationships on low self-worth where it does nothing for your self-worth, it degrades your self-worth. You're dealing with somebody who's just low self-worth. It doesn't give you that sort of impact or that sort of energy, passion that we all want. We don't want to just be in friction with ourselves and with other people, and then that kind of becomes this agitation. That we really want to experience the sort of the creative choice, and we really want to experience the passion, right? The passion that's being directed towards harmony, that passion, that friction, that anger, that agitation, that desire that's pushing us, or sort of encouraging us, or sort of the desire to really have a profound connection, or profound insight, or profound union, right? So use that desire to have an even deeper union, have a more profound union, more impactful, more sort of exuberant union with yourself and with the partner that you have or will have. So thank you, and Sat Nam.